Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Macaulay Made Beauty.
Hi.
Vanessa Macaulay. I'm just going to speak about bringing to the foreground just young people that are doing great for themselves in their own entrepreneurial or corporate or whatever space they are succeeding in, analyzing a bit as to how they got here, what steps they took, and who was their plug if they had a plug. Who is Macaulay before Macaulay Made Beauty?
Oh, heaven. I'm in love with my mom. She's amazing, and I'm a sister. I am my brother and my sister's keeper. I take that extremely seriously.
So before you are identified by a role that you play, what makes up who you are in terms of where did you go to school?
Oh, that's
How
good.
did you get to where you are?
That's good. I went to Parktown Girls High, Akuna Mabani High, and then I went to Witwatersrand University. And then, strangely enough, I found myself in an office one day. I was working with Mela Event for Standard Bank, and all of my stuff was really with Standard Bank. And I was in front of the computer. Very thankful for the journey because I learned I'm like me. But I was at the desk chilling. And you know when you think, why am I here? What am I learning from being here? How long am I here? And then I get unsettled and then I want to leave. So I had that moment at the office, like, where do I see myself in 5 years? What was alarming, I couldn't say I see myself as a makeup artist, but I definitely would have hated to be in that office 5 years from there. And then I asked for like a ridiculous increase. And when they couldn't give it to me, I was like, I called, that means it's not meant to be. And then my uncle, absolutely amazing. He's an entrepreneur. He's been an entrepreneur since he was 33. He basically said that all of this stuff, working for people, is a waste of time. And I will say this, my journey is hugely because of a great support. So I was sort of set off quite amazingly.
Events and makeup are completely different.
Yes.
In terms of just the art that's involved in the person's face, and people's faces are so delicate.
Yes.
So what gave you the confidence to know that this could be something you excelled in?
Oh man, for confidence, I think it's gonna be from my mom. I'm pretty confident in general. I don't think confidence is something that I'm lacking in, especially in what I do, not who I'm gonna become. And sometimes in business, you need confidence in what it's gonna be. And for that, I'm gonna give 100% credit to my siblings for who I am and what I produce in terms of my art. I'm not really one that needs validation from other people, because I know that sometimes when you work with makeup artists and you're in a big group, like, other people need to tell you that it's beautiful. Even when I'm with a client, like, I'm certain that I'm doing a good job. I don't really need other people to be like, oh my God, this is great. Even some people can be like, oh my God, the eyes are too much, but I'm certain that it's the too much at the cleanest, best level. Like, I can put myself in like up to par with, I want to base it on America because they produce content, and I can put myself amongst the greats in America. And so I see their work and I see my work visually and I compare it consistently, and I'm certain that I'm up to par. So I'm confident in my work. Confidence, I'm gonna say thank you to Jesus, thank you to my mom, and thank you to my siblings. And we encourage each other quite like phenomenally. Like, my sibling won't say you did a great job, they'll be like, I love how you blended this eye. So the compliment is very specific. So I know that it's not, they took the time to observe, to see. For makeup, because I did speech, we do anatomy, and so like infection control and all of that. I knew how to deal with people and things, and how to deal like handle and how to handle the infection control, how to handle sanitizing and cleaning. And
let's give a timeline. You left your job in 2000 and
what was it? 16?
But
probably the very end of 2016.
Yes.
The very end of 2016.
December
16, I did the photo shoot. I don't know how we were able to do that, but it was a photo shoot, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm doing this.
So you leave, you go 2016. You start the journey of you as a makeup artist. And then you decide, what was your plan, if you had one? I
really didn't have a plan. I think I was just going for the flow. I think I graded myself on this to be, okay, let me just give you a 411. How I did it, I was like, okay, cool. It was, I think, March, I must earn 15,000, right? 12, it's a 12,000.
It was 12, yes.
I didn't push marketing. And to be honest, even now, I don't think that I push marketing. I think my word precedes me in terms of word of mouth. I can't say that I push, like I've got cards and I go out and hand out. So my uncle always said that you must grade yourself on what the effort that you've put. First of all, my uncle King Solomon says that, do you see a man skilled in his work that will serve before kings? I love having words where I know for sure that God said this, because God is not a man that he should lie. So if later on in my life I do not succeed, I can bring it forth to the cross and say, but you said, do you see a man skilled in his work that will serve before kings? So in my head, I was like, let me perfect my skill. It's going to put me before kings. And so I never thought to market and all of that. I focused my energy. Before I wasn't good at putting eyelashes. So I never really focused on putting eyelashes, because I know that now the trend is whatever you do on your lid doesn't really matter. Put the eyelashes, it's going to cover. But back then, what I did is, because I didn't know how to put on the eyelashes, I perfected the eyeshadow. And if I can say so myself, I am pretty amazing at the eyeshadow. I perfected the eyeshadow, I perfected blending with the brushes that I had. So when other people go on about, oh no, this brush, I knew how to take whatever brush and squeeze it and get into the crease. So because it was what I had. So I knew how to perfect the eyes with putting great mascara, lots of layers of mascara, without transferring on clients. So I knew I did that for like probably 6 months. And then the lashes came in style, then we all got a year, and then but my lid, the bases of my eyes were impeccable. So I think even now in the industry, I know that I'm known for my eye game. And I'm grateful for the early days where I had, do you see a man skilled in his work, he will serve before kings. I literally focused all my energy on skilling the eye. And then also in terms of finance, so yeah, the goal was 12,000 Rand. What really, really helped me, I had Rouge the Rapper, I had Nomuzi Mabena, Musli, and I had DJ Cosmos. Those were the 3 people on my retainer. They helped me surpass the 12. My very first face I did paid me 550 Rand. In my head, I knew never to go below 550 Rand, no matter who, no matter what, no matter when. And that set the precedent of how I should treat my art. For the whole of 2017, it was like 600 Rand. I went up by 50. And from then on, how I increased, and I believe in lateral growth more than horizontal growth. Horizontal growth meaning like I want DJ to do DJ Zinkley's face. I don't believe in that way of doing business. I do my sister's face and her friend's sister for her wedding. I got a lot more faces, and that's how I was able to capitalize on my monthly income, because of numbers, not necessarily because of popularity. There's strength in that, more than I need to do DJ Zinkley's face, and you just want to tick off these people that are high. You forget about here horizontally you have solidarity.
When you look at what you've done so far in terms of the experience you've gotten, the people that you've been exposed to, every step of the way, what do you think was the very important lesson that you learned that you wouldn't have learned having not gone through varsity, now having your own business? What was important in the aspect of work and working for somebody that you think was pivotal that you learned, and now in working with yourself, what do you think is
that's so good? I think one thing that I learned it also in the working world. I found that in the working world you need more validation from either your peers or your boss, which you do not get when you work for yourself. It's very lonely when you work for yourself. You're clapping for yourself when you get a lot of clients and your bank account looks a certain way. No one knows. It's just you and your numbers. And one thing I'm going to say 2 things that I've learned in this journey. Write things in tablets. Habakkuk 2 says that. Put it in tablets so that even the bird can see it. If you have a dream, write it down in tablet. Many people won't understand, because you don't get the boss that says, this is your 10% increase. But when you put it on tablet, it's your goal. And when you achieve it, it's your yes, ma'am.
Why do you think varsity was important for you then?
It helps you think. The world says you need a degree. And it's something that I find very interesting with this getting a degree. Throughout your degree, you sort of minimize who you naturally are to get to this great degree. However, when you do get it, who you naturally are is never dead, because it comes naturally. When you combine the two, you're literally unshakable. Varsity made me confident. Even in conversation, when you're in a board, you end up in boardrooms. You're in a boardroom, you're having conversation. Oftentimes, people just take you just as a makeup artist. With time, what I realized, when you have your degree and you are well skilled, it is much better to be in the boardroom and people just be like, she's just a little makeup artist. and just at the right time, no sooner, no later, it will help you. Like, I can't even say how many times. Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah.
I think I've had many proud moments of
Yeah.
you. Like I think that it's so great that you're doing something that you love and that you try to be the best at.
Thank you.
That you skill yourself in, and that you always try expand in, and that you are in a space where the flair is a secret and how you do this is a secret, but you can't help but share. It takes a specific person to say, I actually care.
Yeah.
And it's not okay for it to just look okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So when I look at your work and I look at everything that you've come through and you've gone through, I think for me the very first moment I was like, nah, Shem, Van, you're doing good things. I think was this was the issue, no?
Yeah.
Where you did all the faces.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what does this issue mean to you, hey?
Yeah.
Because I know you've had many, and
Yeah.
there's another one where that doctor passed away. What's that mommy's name?
Oh,
That's your
Ndlovu.
yes.
Yes.
So when you look at Forbes woman
Tando Ndlovu. Yeah.
and you look at this and you think,
Yeah.
this is my face,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this will live forever.
Yeah.
If they look for Forbes woman,
Yeah.
March 2019, this is you.
Yeah.
What does this mean to you when you look at this?
As you speak, you just remind me of something that I had read. I mean, like, I don't know when, but it said that there's 2 ways that you can live forever: reproduction and writing. But when you said that this is an art that will live forever, even beyond my years, when they look at Forbes, this magazine, and they see, oh, what happened in May 2019, like, this is a way to live forever. What I learned from Forbes is a conversation that I get to have with these ladies behind the scenes that encourage you, that encourage me, that make me see, like, all of them. From them, I was even having a conversation, I told you, with DJ Zinhle about, like, how to grow wealth, and just being in a room where she's talking about, like, her watches and customs and custom clearing for over millions, and you just in that room and you realize that, like, it's actually possible. And they're speaking to you like their peers, like their colleagues. So I don't know if it's one specific moment. It starts from here, when you do a cover and you're like, wow, this is actually me. This is actually me. Because when you do it, you think, oh, this was good. And then you actually see their faces. You're like, this is actually really good. Holistically,
Yeah.
these conversation, huge. The conversation, what they birth, what they
1
bring
year
forth.
ago,
Yeah.
minus Bonang's face.
Yeah, minus Monang's face. Yeah.
A year,
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
You had to give someone that was in the same, trying to do the same thing as you, because this is something that I don't think that you grew up knowing you wanted to be a makeup artist.
Yes, of all 3 of us, if there's one person that was never supposed to be where I am now, it's probably me.
So now, when you look at someone else who, now, like, what you do is something people can aspire to.
Yeah. But you know what I will say? To parents that have children that aspire to something, support them. My mom was supportive in... Do you know how my mom is supportive? She doesn't say, I'm rooting for you. But when she travels, she'll bring me a whole set of brushes.
I think my mom had no choice. So she doesn't rule by, I said what I said, you're going to follow it.
I'm like that.
My mom thinks, like, if I have thought of something and it's going to work for me, I assume that every other of my child has thought something through. And if they tell me that this is what I can do, I should trust them. So when
she gives you the liberty.
My sister said, I'm going to do this. She
Yeah.
was like, okay, sharp.
I never said that it was going to be what it was going to be. To mothers that have children who aspire to do some kind of art, try to support them. And, a lot of the times in Congolese society, even like South African, what I don't see, and I'm so grateful, like, the first reason, I'm always going to say this, the first reason why I understood before I collided with the idea that God loves me. I knew he loved me for sure because of my siblings. I've said this so many times. Even when I was apart, because it made no sense for me to have, I don't know how to explain it to you. I'm quite a passive person. Like I always say, if my dad was alive, I would be that girl that's extremely spoiled, that does really nothing, that gets married and really becomes a housewife. A lot of my push was for my siblings. No, you can do this. No, you can. And I didn't even understand back then that my love language was like, this just push on. So I owe huge percentage of my calling. When Credo, when we discuss business, Credo says that What is my equity in Makole Made? Realistically, he does that. Both him and her deserve so much because, so I'm going to say to that parents whose child is autistic, not everyone is born with the confidence to say that I'm going to do this makeup thing and make it great. I know I wasn't. I had a great team. My uncle, my siblings, my mom, literally everything that, and for my siblings, this cover, I did it, Credo dropped me. Do you know what I mean? So it's my first bride, Credo dropped me and fetched me. It was in Pretoria. And understand, my brother is a year older than me. He had a life. It's not that a life was lacking. And my sister, when I did this cover, remember I had asked you to send me 55 Rand airtime because I didn't. So like, I can't tell you. And this is how I know that it's a God thing. It wasn't me. If it was me, it cannot have been me.
Yeah. So now, as you grow and you see your covers and you know there's many more covers and you have interactions and people help you grow and think and...
You know what I will say though? Money has made me serious about it. Do you know when you go to the bank, they're like, okay, I want this car. And then they put on the table what you can, what you can't get. Then you're like, I'm actually not that nonsense, you know? Because you think, this is just an art and money can't. So then you're like, man, I'm sleeping on myself.
Yeah.
How can I look like this? And realistically, I haven't really pushed marketing. I haven't pushed funding.
Yeah.
I haven't pushed anything. And it looks like this. That makes me, now that's the part that's outside of the encouragement of my siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want to leave behind?
We had this conversation. I think I want to be the reference for women, for beauty and healthcare still. I want when we in a room and we discussing everywhere in Africa, because we are, you know, I speak French and I speak English, you know. When we have an African woman, health, beauty, anything, I don't want 10 names to go past without mine. So outside of beauty, I want to also reflect inner beauty. When I have an interaction with someone, may they feel like, you know what? After I spoke to that girl, I feel a little bit better. So that's what I want to be remembered for, a deep relationship with Uncle Solomon. I genuinely believe that outside of your parents sort of bring you structure, but what propels you, really propels you beyond what your parents can only do so much. But the person that can push you and test you and strengthen you are the support system of your parent. I want to be a phenomenal aunt, in Jesus' name. Like a provider of an aunt, someone that tells you the truth, someone that's there, someone that knows the tears.
I think that one thing that you do well is honor people. I think that's the one thing that I think that even reflects in how you do your work. It's that I'm honoring you because I'm in such a space to be in within your environment. So if it's for such a time as now, for me to actually impart the best of me into you, let me leave you with something that you can remember me by. And I think that that's always great.
That's an honor.
So keep doing what you're doing. It's been great seeing you, watching you grow, and as you grow into financial freedom, I just pray and hope that you have the wisdom and you continue the wisdom to pass this on, and may your name carry on living, man.
So what's your inspiration?
At this point, I think for me, this segment has been very important for me, just to see that the world is so much bigger than yourself.
Come on.
It's so much bigger than everything you're going through, and I think that especially when I'm overwhelmed by the world, I think there's things that I just love doing that I think many people just don't know that I love doing it. But I love doing things like just speaking to people about like where they're going. And I think for me, the one thing, and I always said I love like Romans, because there's a passage in Romans that states that if you have a gift of encouragement, encourage. I think that that's my gift. I think I literally believe that that's my gift. Like I have a gift of encouragement. Emotional. I really am. So thanks, Van, for coming through. And of course,
this was such an honor.
It's not a video without like food. So we do have food. We just didn't snack. I know someone is gonna say
Corona formed against us.
It shall prosper.